By the way. Welcome to Shiftology Live. I'm your host, Terry Wildemann, and I'm the founder of Shiftology and Intuitive Leadership. This show is where high achieving leaders come to share real stories behind their most powerful shifts, the pivots, the wake up calls, and the breakthroughs that changed everything. In each episode, we explore what it means to lead with soul, to grow with passion, and to reconnect with the truth beneath the titles. Today's guest is someone whose story aligns with that mission, and I'd like to introduce you to Rich Kozak. He is a strategic mentor for individual brands, 49 years defining and languaging brands with his servant's heart. I love that. Certified as a global branding consultant, Rich worked with partners worldwide. Today, he shares his gifts with individuals, heart-centered entrepreneurs and professionals, experts and authors, evolving their top umbrella brands with clarity. Oh, I adore that. And it aligns with everything they say and do.
Would you like a job?
I would love it, including writing books to move their brand forward. Get your branding right. Welcome to Shiftology Live.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Terry. Yeah, get your branding right. So many people say that I just need to get it's a very common thing that comes out of people's mouths. Even if they've done something for 20 years and they know there's more and they want to take it to a higher level, those are perfect. They have no idea there's somebody with experience that does straight talk about branding and will tell them they don't need to read a book. They just need to know that it's a process, and here's the process, and here are the steps, and we're going to get them through. And when we're done, it gives you a foundation that's got clarity baked into it, and it's purely you, and you don't need a superhero costume because it's now you. It's like,
you mean I can't wear my Wonder Woman bracelet anymore?
well, you can. Life is a series of choices. Yeah, well,
I'm not going to say it's part of my branding, but I do wear the superhero brand bracelet every single day.
Okay. As long as it's not, it's not your brand. Your brand is you. You don't need anything. I heard you speak this morning. I said, I got a chill down my spine. What you talk about and what you stand for is so clear. It comes from you. And so, yeah, I wouldn't even mention the bracelet, but that's up to you.
I don't. I just have you said superhero.
Okay, I'm going to apologize. I said, I should never have done that because I said.
You know what? Wait a minute. Wait. Back up. In the coaching world, when things like that happen, that's a wake-up call because we're talking about the Wonder Woman bracelet bangle. So that to me means I need to own that energy more. So that's what I'm saying.
Well, there you go. You have beautiful energy. So the focus of your podcast is those defining moments that create shift. One of the things that was not on my bio, but I will share, I'm a certified trainer. I don't train, but I'm a certified trainer of neurolinguistics programming. So I've got hundreds of hours of NLP training, all through trainers training, and timeline therapy to help people go back and release emotions that have held them back. That's part of what I've lived. And there was a bunch of shift that I witnessed and experienced doing that training.
Miracles, huh?
But that it seemed like it.
Well, no, it was. They were. And what you don't know about me is I am an NLP practitioner, so I get it.
Yeah, when you see someone release an emotion that it was so strong, and then you say, you want to test it? And you go back and you say, where's that emotion now? And they go,
it's not there.
Yeah.
It's not there.
What?
I don't see it. Right. I don't feel it.
And
I don't hear it.
Those seem like the miracle moments. And I'm a man of strong faith. Sometime early in the program, I was thinking, am I in like the devil's room or is this like crazy stuff? But it just deals with human behavior. And so it was a blessing. But that wasn't my biggest shift moment. My biggest shift moment was, and I'll do it this way. It was 3:38 a.m. on the ninth floor of the corporate office building that looked up the Malibu coast out my corner window, when I knew I had to leave to get to the parking lot, to get home in time, to change, take a shower, shave, change my clothes, get back in my car, and make it 2 hours driving to the corporate boardroom at the $14 billion client company. So I could say, good morning, gentlemen. My name is Rich Kozak from Young Company, and I'm here to tell you, to share a picture of what we see you can do in the way you connect with the clients in your future. I'm shaving, and I'm looking in the mirror, and this guy is sleepless. He's a little bit overweight, and I'm thinking, you're killing yourself. What are you doing? And in that moment, I made a decision. I changed my prayer to, Lord, I'm resigning this addictive career to reshape my life. Show me what you want me to do. I'm ready. That was when I was 50. Okay. I am 72 going on 30 now. Okay. And that was a major defining moment. I started doing other things after I left. That was June, and I was.
Can I go back to that moment before you
Oh
move
yeah,
on?
absolutely.
I would love for you to share when you looked in that mirror what you were actually feeling in your body. Because a lot of people are disconnected from their bodies. And when they have those defining moments, it's important for them to hear what those kinds of things feel like. What did you feel like when you had that defining
I
moment?
think I would say there were two feelings, and they were a little bit mixed. One is unfulfilled,
Mhm.
and the other is a knowingness that this is what I'm doing, helping to launch the next generation of their marketing communication, and so they're better understood in the world. Or we had semiconductor climbing, well, is not going to change the world, but I don't think this is why I'm here.
Mhm.
I need to get to why I'm here. So there's this knowingness that I'm investing my time in a very dangerous way on all-nighters, like at 50. Okay, that's not really smart. Uh, and I was smart enough to know that wasn't smart. It's like, wait a minute, what? Okay, yeah. So those two things, I'd say, I wasn't feeling fulfilled as if I know I was. And I didn't think a lot about it. I wasn't reading things about purpose. Not at all. I mean, I was a high-tech ad agency executive.
Yeah.
So it's like partners in 21 countries. And I was busy. And
Mhm.
there was always something going on. It was like, with clients coming in 2 hours, there's always something going on.
Yeah.
And it just time stopped for a moment.
Isn't that brilliant?
And it's kind of me and God.
Yeah. And that number, by the way, 338, in numerology, you add 3 plus 3 at 6. 6 and 8 is 14. And then you add the 4 and the 1 together. That's a 5. And 5 is the number of change.
Well, there you have it.
And you changed at 338.
Yeah. Praise God. So, um, the life after that, well, it's just my ability practically, can you afford it? My ability to resign was because I had been saving and knew that I wasn't going to be hurting, and that it was time to work on fulfillment, and time to work on me and not them. The agency was not my agency. It wasn't my dream. I was the second in command. I was the exec VP. So I was his right hand, and he's a dear friend. And the way I explained it to him is, I've always told you, you never have to look behind you to see whether I was being snatched away somewhere. If I ever think I'm going to make a change, I'll let you know. And I said, I bought him dinner. Actually, I was going to buy him dinner. He bought me dinner, and said, I need to make a change about what I do with my life, and I'm going to redirect it. And so I'm resigning. I'm not going to another agency. Nobody bought me away. And I mean, I was addicted. I had partners in 21 countries. I had people whom I adored, and I would get to go to Europe and to our partners, and a couple times a year. It's like so. But
What were you actually addicted to? You've said that a couple of times.
I used to say the high pitch whine. There were bowls of chocolate and caffeine all over the agency. It's the fuel of the industry, and I'm pretty well controlled. I have adult ADHD. If I put stuff all over my desk, I'll just go to the kitchen and eat. It's like, and I got out of the, I did a shift in NLP. That was one of the ones I gave away by training myself to say, the work will feed me. It was an amazing, it literally worked. I came home and it's like, I never had that feeling again. Like, oh my God, this is overwhelming. I'll just go eat. I just like swept everything off and put one thing there. It's like, the work will feed me.
There you go.
Wow. Okay. But, boy.
So where did that lead you? So you walked away from your company, from the company you were working with for how many years?
Oh, I was never idle. I had been investing in real estate the whole time. And so I had a relative who had built hundreds of homes, and he said, hey, you manage all these budgets and everything all the time. You should do real estate. You'd make a lot more money. And I said, hey, I'll tell you what, here's 50 grand, go buy some land. Let's go. And so I stepped into that business with an uncle who taught me a lot. And that lasted about 9 years, and it was really good until it just sank like a rock in 2008 when the banks closed. That was devastating. And then it was about yipes. All that money I saved was kind of gone, and it's like rut-row. So so where it led me was to learn quickly. When you don't have to drive to work every morning, you can grow quite quickly. I got involved in self-development. I ended up in a lot of people's rooms. We heard Brendan Burchard. I was in his room in 2008. It's like he was a young kid. He just came out with his first book, and I'm in his room up near San Francisco, and I mean, I've been in a lot of people's rooms. So I've been working on me, and then I was like, my wife instructed me that I didn't need any more training.
There comes a time when those of us who are in the personal and professional development field ask, our spouses do say, do you really need that? And yeah, I get it.
I've been married and I'm the luckiest man in the world. I've been married 48, going on 49 years in December, and February will be 54 Valentine's Days. So
Who is that?
I am blessed. We had a house fire. We got a brand new house. Thank you, State Farm. It's like all these things that would devastate a lot of people. I didn't have a job, and then the fire happened. Like I left the job in August. The fire happened in January. It's like,
Wow.
But things happen for a reason.
Talk about resurrecting.
Somebody called me and said, hey, I want you to come to this thing with me. I'm like, I hardly even know you. We had dinner at one of these real estate things in Las Vegas. Dave from Chicago. And he goes, yeah. And he invited me to go to Harv Eker's Millionaire Mind. And we ended up in Orlando because I have timeshare, and we got it for $157 for the week. And I bought Quantum Leap for 20, whatever it was, 4,000. And I was in. And it's like, when I popped out of that going to week-long things that literally worked on you, because I was investing in me.
That's right.
And it didn't take my faith away. I think it made it stronger. I felt my faith move from my head
Your heart.
to my heart
Yeah.
in that time, and other things. So things happen for a reason. And
You do. That's
I
the mantra. Things happen
I,
for a reason.
and there are no coincidences, and God's hand is everywhere. We just have to look for it, and we have to ask for it. Well, what's your will in my life? That is very important. We're all here made by the same God. We need to ask, why am I here? What is your will for me? If we don't do that, we're missing one of the most important things we can do. So,
Rich, why are you here?
exactly.
Why are you here?
So, what's become really clear to me is that this entire journey that I've been on has prepared me to do God's work, which is mine the desire for impacts in people's hearts and help them step into that so that they have a way to be way more impactful significantly in the way they touch other people's lives and the world they touch. If I do that with 1,000 people or 1,000,000 people, it makes the world a way better place. And they get to step into their purpose. Praise God. It's like we're all here for the same reason. We get
You're
all hung up.
creating a ripple effect.
The book I read every morning says we're here for two reasons. One is share love, and two is praise God. And everything else is man-made. So if we don't get number two right, we got to go back to number
My
one.
phone just went off when you said that.
And so I have the Bible app. I'm surprised I haven't gotten the hallelujah while we're doing this. But seriously, I, it feel it doesn't feel like work. I do this hours and hours a day. My calendar is jammed sometimes, back to back client. It feels like love.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Harry, it feels like love.
So, who is your ideal client that you love to work with?
There are so many. My clients range from 20 to 83 is the oldest I have right now, going on 84. Typically, it's a woman, although I have men and women. It's a woman who's 45 to 65. She's had a fair amount of success. She knows she's not done and she wants to take it higher, but she's defined the way she has been defined
Mm.
for since she began, and she doesn't know whom to trust, whom to listen to, what even to do to get more credit or higher level credit or to do the things she wants to, she's never done. And she happens to hear me speak, or someone refers her to me and we have breakfast, or she jumps on Zoom on richbrands.org. If you wanted to, you can go to richbrands.org right now and sign up for talk to me for 30 minutes. I know we just heard, don't ever do that. We don't do that anymore. Well, some of us live on Zoom and it's a
Yeah.
choice. It's
And
not.
well, and what you just said is a choice. The moment somebody says, "Don't do that, don't do that, don't do that," I take it in and I just, if it's right for me, it's right for me. You know,
I
it's
can't tell you how many people have said, don't use a background. I'm like, yeah, right. And I teach consistency across the board. It's like, you okay. Anyway,
it really is important when those of us who are in this field, that it's not about following every single person. It's about following the messages that resonate with us.
and when the work is done, the steps are done, you're not, people aren't looking anymore for the next, branding hack or marketing trick because they realize that's just so much pablum. They just get to be who they get to become
Mhm.
to step into their purpose. And if they need to be more places, like I need to be more places so that God can put in front of me those people that he wants me to touch with this gift, okay, so we'll be in more places. You
So
know, I,
what I just got, what I literally just heard, it's not about being in more places as much as it is being in the right places.
truly,
Because that way, when you're in the right places, that message, there is a ripple effect when you're in the right places that is so easy because it just keeps going and going and going. And I am going to share one thing which I know you're going to get when I say this.
hmm,
When I'm team building, I often say when I'm talking about team building and creating a team that is really going to elevate your business, people are wondering how we did that, so on and so on. I said, look, it's really not that hard. It's about, think about the one team that you have heard about since you were a little person, that with only 12 people over the last 2,000 years created a ripple effect. And
Crazy.
there was no technology. It was nothing more than mouth referrals. And now, not everything that they talked about, is going to land. But the fact is that there was a team of 12 who passed on a message, a powerful message that is still resonating to today. That is a very powerful team. And for those who don't get it, Christ and the 12 disciples, the
Yeah.
apostles.
Yeah.
So, so I'm not talking about that from a religion perspective. I'm see, there it goes. I'm talking
Got
about
another one.
it's about a team building example.
Yeah.
It's a team building example.
Um, Two comments. So one about the team and one about being in the right places. Right places first. So it's important for those of us who know we want to make a bigger impact to to show up. And I'm going to use the word media just because it's the plural of the word medium. So channel, whatever you want, to show up in places where people who are ready to hear our message
Absolutely.
might be. Let's take one that's not niched. Okay. Let's call it YouTube. Okay. So let's be on YouTube. Well, it's a big investment and a big challenge to have a presence on YouTube. But what if you can do 8 podcasts in a day and everybody's going to post there on YouTube? Now you're in 8 new places on YouTube and somebody puts your name in and
Exactly.
you show like they're fresh and you show. That's why I'm here. It's not that every podcast is the perfect podcast, although it can be. And I'm a marketing guy, so I speak to the audience.
Hmm.
But the point is to be present. And if we need presence, we need to work on it. So if we need to be present on speaking stages, if we need to be present in bookstores, if we need that, we just need to work on it
Yeah.
and make it happen. And what we really want is for those whom we most want to impact to hear the message. So we want to go where those people are, where they listen.
Hmm.
We want to be in what they read. Obviously it's just like it's basic marketing 101. And we don't care about people 25,000 miles away who love to pet giraffes all day, unless your business is giraffes, and I apologize. But we care about the people whose hearts we know we can impact, and
That's
their
exactly
businesses we
right.
can impact, their lives we can impact, and we really want to impact them. Our brand is their perception. It's not our perception.
Hmm.
And so branding, like the cover of our book, the name of our podcast, the messages that we use, a message hierarchy where we say that, you keep saying the same thing exactly the same way all the time. Yeah. Consistency breeds trust. Okay. So anyway, it's one of those, you don't have consistency, you lose. Your brand falls flat
That's
because
right.
people don't trust it. It's like, oh yeah, she says something different. Okay. Okay. But it's, it, we get to make those decisions that shape it. So it's just process. It's just steps. It's steps, and people don't know that. They don't
Hmm.
know that. And I've been teaching. I was teaching big companies. They would go steps. We thought branding was kind of artsy fartsy, like airy fairy. Marketing guys are, no, because a lot of these guys are finance guys and bean counters. And they're like, wow,
That's fascinating.
if you can teach a $14 billion company that builds platforms in the North Sea and pipelines in Africa that branding is a process just like that, and have them go, Wow, we never really thought of it that way before. Now you're getting somewhere.
And that's where the shift comes in. And that's why you
That was
see.
certainly definitely a shift for them, which got us hired for sure. Yes.
Well, that's brilliant. So, so Rich,
Yeah.
last few words. What is the best advice that you can give our listeners?
Come from your heart. You know, speak from your heart. If you see an impact that you want to make, talk about it. Tell people what you see for them. Say, look, I tell them you understand where they are if you do, and tell them what you see for them and paint a picture that is so real for them and think about how they need to hear it in their language that's in their head. And you will make yourself a magnet. Now, that work and that language often comes from the process, but it is a really good guideline. If you're going to talk to somebody whose life you really want to impact, it could be your child, it could be,
Be anybody?
a target client.
Yes.
Tell them what you see for them
Yeah.
and let them hear your heart. It doesn't come from your head.
You're exactly right. It does come from the heart. And I have to tell you, this has been just a most powerful conversation. I really want to thank you, Rich, because this has been absolutely brilliant. I
You
applaud
are
you for
very
sharing your
welcome.
truth, your wisdom, and the shift that brought you here. Now, if to my audience, if this episode resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on what was shared. What shift is intuitively calling you right now? You do not have to navigate it alone. Subscribe to Shiftology Live just below on your favorite platform. And if you're ready to reconnect with your intuition, your purpose, and your inner power, join me in the Prosperity Power Network on Facebook or explore one of my retreats. I'm Terry Wildemann. Thank you for listening. And until next time, keep honoring your shift and to your success. Thank you again, Rich.
You're very welcome. Thank you.